This Film is Lit, the podcast where we finally settle the score on one simple question. Is the book really better than the movie? I'm Brian. I have a film degree, so I watch the movie, but don't read the book.
And I'm Katie. I have an English degree, so I do things the right way and read the book before we watch the movie.
Look, some of us are lazy, alright?
If by lazy you mean wrong.
Prepare to be wowed by our expertise and charm as we dissect all of your favorite film adaptations and decide whether the silver screen or the written word did it better. So turn it up, settle in, and get ready for spoilers, because guess what? This film is lit. Somebody once told me, the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. It's Shrek, and this film is lit. Perfect.
This movie won an Oscar.
Well, the years start coming. What? Sorry.
This movie won an Oscar.
Yes, it did. A movie with Smash Mouth in it won an Oscar.
An Academy Award-winning classic.
God has forsaken us.
Hell is empty. All the devils are here.
That kind of makes Smash Mouth an Academy Award-winning band. Kind of.
Kind of, sort of.
Sort of, in a weird roundabout way.
I mean, is there a more iconic music moment in Shrek?
No.
No, there's not.
Not even close. We both lost it in that moment when that happened. Because fucking Smash Mouth is such a goddamn meme now, and All-Star in particular, that when he bursts out of that fucking...
Out of the outhouse
singing All-Star to All-Star, oof.
Yeah, we lost our shit.
Yeah.
You know, I had not forgotten that was the way the movie started, but I felt like I had when we watched it.
I had 100% forgotten. And boy, I was not prepared. I was ill prepared.
Oh my God.
It was a meme overdose. I was like, oh no. Oh no, what's happening? We've hit peak meme. We're only 30 seconds in. Oh, yeah. That's right. It's the 8th episode of This Film is Lit, and we're talking about Shrek. Whew. Based on the children's book.
Yes, it is.
If you didn't listen to our prequel episode, you should, because we talk about Stranger Things and Thor Ragnarok, Stranger Things Season 2 and Thor Ragnarok. But we also had some fun facts about Shrek. It is based on about a 20-page animated children's picture book
by William Steig. It is Shrek with an exclamation mark.
Yes,
for the book.
Yeah, it's not in the movie title.
No, they dropped the exclamation mark. Yeah. A wise choice, I think.
Darren Aronofsky found it and used it in Mother. So.
I just pictured him picking up an exclamation mark off the ground.
I'm going to put this in my fucking super obvious biblical metaphor movie. It needs an exclamation point to make it more obvious.
Anyway.
So yeah, Shrek. We watched it last night, and we said before, it's good. It's a good movie. It is a good movie. We're going to get into some general discussion eventually, but first, we actually, in his triumphant return, guess who is back? After a couple episodes of not being able to do it, we're back with Guess Who, even though it's a picture book. I'm not sure how. So let's do it. I forgot my record because it's been so long. Guess Who?
Okay, I've got two, and I think one of them you might get.
I'm guessing I will get at least one.
And they're interesting because what it actually is two characters describing each other.
Oh, okay.
And It's not... It is description. It's not description in the traditional sense.
Okay.
But there's just
You're hedging a lot
some
here.
lines that I really wanted to
hedging
read.
A lot here. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Your lumpy nose, your pointy head, your wicked eyes, so livid red, just kill me. Your nose so hairy, oh let us not tarry. Your look is so scary, I think we should marry.
Red eyes, hairy nose. Well, shit. Initially I was going to say Farquaad, which I don't know if he's even in the book. Shrek didn't have red eyes in the movie. He's scary looking, though. I'm going to say Shrek.
Yeah, that's a description of Shrek.
Boom! 1 for 1. Huzzah.
Okay, next.
He has green eyes, I think, in the... Or like yellow?
Brown,
or brown, yeah, they're not red, though.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, continue.
I mean, he would have looked like Christmas.
It's true.
Your horny warts, your rosy wens, like slimy bogs and fusty fens, thrill me. Oh, ghastly you, with lips of blue, your ruddy eyes, with carmine styes, enchant me.
Well, I think I know what this is. I think that's Fiona.
Yeah.
I think this is like their vows.
Sort of.
Oh, well.
It's the
equivalent of
the
Fiona.
Equivalent character, Same. Yeah. So 2 for 2.
Yes. Boom. Let's move right on to, was that in the book? Was that in the book? It was in the book. Was that in the book? I only have 3 here. I think one of them I may know the answer to, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Mm-hmm. Because I'd be interested to see. First one. Donkey. Is Donkey in the book?
There is a donkey.
Is it a similar character?
No.
Or like, does he have a similar prominence?
No.
No. Okay. So that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, there might be a donkey, but I'm thinking it's not like the main friend, like, you know,
right.
The sidekick. I wrote his donkey, the talking best friend, is what my note says.
He does talk.
He does? Okay.
But he's not like a best friend character.
What is his relevance in the book?
So, he is the character who knows how to get to the princess's castle.
Oh, okay.
So he, like, takes Shrek there. Okay.
But he doesn't have as much of a role as...
No. And he's not funny. He doesn't make jokes.
He's not played by Eddie Murphy?
No.
Okay. That's kind of exactly what I figured, actually. Well, I was like, I bet there is a donkey. I bet that plays some sort of, like... But I bet it's, like, a little thing, and it's not, like, you know... the main... And the thing is, like, because I know they're going to have to expand a lot, obviously, because it's a fucking 20-page children's book. So I knew a lot of it wasn't going to be in the book. I just kind of thought and so that was one of the things I was thinking that donkey might not have been... You can't not say it that way. Donkey. All right, second one. And this one I'll be interested because I think it might be... I'm interested to see where this one is. All the references to other fairy tales. Like all the you know, because like fucking 7 Dwarves and Goldilocks and Peter Pan and the 3 Little Pigs and like this is a huge major send up to some extent of, you know, fairy tales, and it is so that all of these other fairy tale characters are in the movie.
No,
are they in the book?
No.
Any of them?
He does meet a witch and a dragon.
Okay, but they're not.
There's no send up to obvious other fairy tales.
So like the witch isn't like obviously the witch from Snow White or anything like, you know what I mean? It's not it's just generic fairy tale. Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking, and I was wondering, like I said, I bet I was thinking that was added for the movie, because that's kind of the initial inciting incident, as it were. That's a filmmaking term for all of you plebs out there. The inciting incident is basically that all the fairy tale people show up on Shrek's land and say they got kicked out of, you know, wherever they were living by Farquaad, and so Shrek goes to...
I mean, there's a pretty real and obvious, like, Holocaust allegory.
Oh.
Did you not catch that?
Oh. I didn't think about that.
when they're, like, rounding up fairy tale characters and, like, sending them to live
That's fair. That's
in a
dark as
specific
shit.
place.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Jesus.
And I don't think that's something... I don't remember noticing that as a kid.
Oh, I didn't notice it now. I didn't even think about it now, but that's, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're literally rounding them up.
Wasn't Walt a notorious anti-Semite? So that's even better. I think, right? Wasn't he kind of like...
I mean, that's the internet
Nazis?
rumor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know how true it is. But, like, yeah, it was kind of like the thing you always hear around is that Walt was...
Yeah.
Not friendly with the ideas of National Socialism. I didn't think about that at all. Or that didn't hit me. I don't know. That wasn't... Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, there's some dark moments.
No, there definitely are, for sure. I'm not
movie.
No, I'm not saying there
the
aren't.
mother bear gets made into a rug. That's dark as fuck.
That is true. That is true. So, yes. So, the references are not there. So far, I'm pretty much spot on what I thought wasn't in the book. Last one, and I'm pretty sure this isn't in the book. Duloc. It's Duloc even in the book, I guess, first?
No.
Okay. And second, so obviously it's not this send-up of Disneyland.
No, it's not. That's a movie-only thing.
Yeah.
The element of satire is still present.
In the book?
In the book, because it's kind of a satire of, like the sugary fairy tale children's books.
Right.
Because the whole point of the book is that it's kind of this parody of...
Anti-fairy tale?
Yeah, it's kind of an anti-fairy tale, whereas if you read, like, these traditional, very sugary fairy tale books...
Saccharine.
Yes, saccharine. The prince
That's just
and
a
the
smart way to
princess-
say sugary.
The prince and the princess get together basically because they're both beautiful and royal.
Yeah.
So in Shrek, they get together because they're both ugly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this very obvious parody of that kind of story.
Yeah, no, and so there, the parody element of the film wasn't something they created out of whole cloth. That was a very central part to the book. It's just parodying slightly different.
They made it slightly different. They elevated it.
They elevated it and they blew it up, and then the parody is of, which makes sense because this is parodying fairy tale books.
Right,
like
it's fairy tale stories in general.
So the obvious translation to movie is you take Disney down.
Right.
Like, that's the obvious translation of that, the heart of what the book was doing. Translate it to your medium. Yes. We're fucking going after Walt. Let's do it.
And the movie is such an obvious takedown of Disney.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, real hard. Yeah, they were
super hard.
Real hard in the paint on that one. The moment I wrote down the Duloc Disneyland was when they, with the little singing and...
Yeah, it is very clearly It's a Small World.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the little figurines are almost exactly the same.
Well, that's all I have for Was That in the Book? Was it in the book? And I was right on all three that they were not in the book because... Seemed like something they were at for the movie. So I got a keen eye for that sort of thing. So now we're going to move on to Lost in Translation.
Lost in Adaptation.
Fuck, why did I write Lost in Translation? Shit. That's a movie.
You gotta get the pun.
I know. Because Lost in Translation is a movie.
I know.
With Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray. There is no Lost in Adaptation this week because we watched a children's movie, and I'm a full-grown adult with a film degree. So I wasn't confused. Moving on. Do we want to go to... I just wrote that because I felt smarmy. We want to go on to Better in the Book, Better in the Movie, or we just want to get some general discussion?
I have a couple for Better in the Book.
Let's do Better in the Book then.
Yeah.
It's time for Better in the Book.
Alright, so first things first. Book Shrek. breathe fire and shoot laser beams out of his eyes. So that's obviously better.
I mean, it's not. I don't know. I feel like it makes sense for him not to shoot lasers out of his eyes.
Think about how much better this movie would have been if he had been able to shoot lasers out of his eyes.
Not better? I don't think. I mean, maybe. If they would have saved... You know what they could have done with it, which would have been fun? They would have saved it for a little, like, post-credit scene. No joke. Or, like, in the third movie or something. Like, post-credit... Like, just randomly, Shrek fucking blasts somebody with laser eyes, and Donkey turns to him, and is like... And he's like, yeah, I just... And he's like, where was that the last week? We fought a dragon! Why didn't you use your laser eyes? And he goes, like, that would have been fun. Like, as a little callback to the book. But it would have been stupid if, like, just in any moment, Shrek was like, yeah, I'm laser eyes, I'm Cyclops, bitch. Fuck you. Like, nah. Anyways, that's weird.
Well, it is kind of
the fire breath, I guess I can get on board with. The laser eyes is what I'm having a real problem with.
It is kind of a satirical element, again, too, because the way that we see him use it is to heat up food.
Oh, boy.
It's a silly book.
No, it is. That's silly. Fair. It's silly. Like I said, I don't think I would have a problem with the fire breath. I feel like, yeah, sure. Like if you could, like, burp fire. It's the laser eyes makes no sense. None at all. No sense. I don't like that.
I'm going to post a picture of it on our Facebook page.
Okay, do that. I want to see it, but there's no sense. I don't like it.
I disagree.
All right, fair enough.
Shrek has parents in the book. Oh. I don't necessarily think that makes it better or worse. He doesn't have much of a character, so to speak, in the book. But he has more of a personal history.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, with something like that, you don't have a lot of time to...
Yeah.
We're not getting, like, inner monologues and...
Right, and that's not the important thing with a picture book like this. That's not the focus. No. The focus is not on character development.
And because the whole message of the book is pretty much like... Well, apart from the parody element, is about, like, inner beauty and that sort of thing, right?
Well, it's about self-acceptance.
Yeah, self-acceptance and not, not worrying so much about...
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Because Shrek is ugly and horrible and just the worst thing you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
But he loves himself.
Yeah.
Like, he loves who he is.
Yeah.
And he's into it. He's down for it.
Which that translates to the movie pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't seem to not, he has no problems with himself. He has no hang-ups.
I mean, he doesn't like the way people react to him.
Yeah.
But
in the movie.
Yeah. But personally, I don't think he has any problem with himself personally.
No, I don't think he cares. He just doesn't like being around people because they're... Yeah, I guess there is... Now that you mention it, there is kind of that element of, like, he doesn't like being around people because, they're like, judgy and jerky to, they scared of him and that sort of thing. So, like, there's kind of that element of insecurity.
There's that element, and it's more through Fiona than through Shrek in the movie, that element of, like, accepting yourself for who you are.
Yeah, that definitely, that's where they go with it, is Fiona as opposed to Shrek, which I have a thing I want to talk about with that later, but...
Last thing, the book doesn't have any dated pop culture references.
That's fair, because, oh boy.
Yeah.
The movie is chock full.
Of its time.
Yeah, it is chock full of...
And the thing that, like, drove me nuts watching it was that I was like, I can't tell if these have held up or if I just think they do.
I think it holds up, mostly. Mostly what they did was the references they went after were really big things.
That's true.
There's not anything, like, niche that, like, we forgot about, like, what, like, like, they it's like, the references that are there are still in the
zeitgeist?
Yes. I was going to say the public conscious. Yeah, which is zeitgeist is the $10 word for that. But yeah.
That's all my $10 words.
So yeah, it is. The references are all big enough cultural elements, or big enough things that were big enough on the impact of culture at the time that it's not like weird. So I think it kind of holds up in that regard, to some extent, even though it is a little. I mean, apart from. I know it is big enough, but Smash Mouth is never not going to be funny when you have Smash Mouth in your movie. But
oh god,
yeah, the music probably ages the worst.
Yeah, what I noticed that I'd never noticed before when I was watching it was that the music either has almost nothing to do.
No, yeah, we're talking about
what's going on, or it's so on the nose that it's hilarious.
It's one or the other.
So the book doesn't have that either.
Yeah, no music in the book. So that's easy. I can cut that last 5 minutes out of me Googling. That's exciting. All right, what else we got?
That's all I have for better in the book.
Okay.
I have 2 things for better in the movie.
All right. That means it's time for better in the movie.
So obviously the movie really fleshes out the concept.
Yes.
The book follows a semi-similar thread. None of the stuff with Lord Farquaad and all that is in there, but it is a story about Shrek journeying to find a princess. With the movie, there's framing story and there's character development and there's themes and good things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas the picture book is a picture book. Yeah. And it's kind of, bare bones.
Bare bones, basically.
And it's a lot of fun.
ABCD.
Yeah, it's a fun picture book. And I would recommend if you if you have a kid, especially if you've got a kid who's into fairy tales and monsters and that sort of thing, I would recommend that you pick this up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the same depth to it.
Yeah.
That the movie has. Even though I feel slightly silly saying that Shrek has depth, but
it's got layers.
Oh God.
Like an onion.
Please go away and never come back. I live here alone with my cats now. Yeah. And the other thing that the book, or the movie rather, pushes, so the idea of the princess being really ugly in the book. That's the whole idea. Shrek hears about this princess who's even uglier than he is. Yeah. And he's obviously I gotta check this out.
Gotta get on this shit.
He's into it. And that's intriguing.
That's my fetish.
And like we talked about, it's satirical in its own way.
Yeah.
But the movie takes it a step further.
Yeah.
Because what was revelatory for the retelling of fairy tales in 1990 obviously needed to be pushed farther by 2001.
Advanced. We had fucking Little Mermaid and Lion King. And
we got all this shit in between there.
All these things.
We gotta take it further, you guys.
Not in the same place.
But the idea of having her be a traditional princess who turns into an ogre is, it pushes it farther than just having her be an ugly, non-traditional princess.
So in the book, just to clarify, she's not an ogre?
No. Well, I mean, they never say that Shrek is an ogre.
I'm looking at that picture. That motherfucker looks like an ogre.
Well, he looks kind of like...
He looks like Shrek in the movie.
He looks kind of like Shrek in the movie. It's similar. He's green. He's green and lumpy. He's got ears. The same little ears. But they never
explicitly say ogre.
They never explicitly say he's an ogre in the book. So... having seen the movie, we could assume that he is.
Right, yeah.
Or we could just assume he's a monster of some sort.
Some sort of thing. Okay, fair enough.
And she looks like a monster of some sort.
Yeah.
In the pictures, so...
One thing that was interesting, I meant to mention this in the mini episode. I talked about it and then forgot to bring it back up again. So Steven Spielberg, huge fan, apparently called Mike Myers during the production process and commended him for the amount of work he was putting in to staying true to the character, because Steven Spielberg was such a big fan and wanted to make it that he when he was aware of what was going on with the movie, he called Mike Myers and was like, hey, I really appreciate that you're giving this character its due, because it's a character that's very near and dear to my heart. So basic, or something along those lines is what.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So, like, Steven Spielberg just give you a call and be like, hey.
Personal phone call from Steven Spielberg.
You're doing good. I'd be like, thanks, Steven Spielberg.
Tell you what a great job you're doing.
I'm going to go die now.
I have completed my life journey, and I can now ascend.
I have peaked. That's it. I'm done. It's all downhill.
So if we want to transition into...
Yeah, we'll transition into some general discussion. Just talk about the movie a little bit.
Yeah, got some things to discuss. First thing I want to discuss, Fiona's dress is obviously also enchanted. It changes sizes.
Yeah, it's like Hulk's shorts.
It's like a magic expandy shrinky dress.
Yeah. I want to talk about, yeah, it is. It's true. I didn't think about that. Maybe it's just all... It's pretty form-fitting. Although it very clearly looks like satin or like
it always looked like velvet to me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It looks like velvet. So that is not an expandy.
No, it's not.
Stretchy material.
As someone who was a young girl in the early 90s when velour taffeta Christmas dresses were all the rage, I can tell you that velvet is not an expandy fun thing to wear.
It sounds awful. It looks awful. I hate the way it feels. I can't imagine wearing it as clothing. No thank you. On the topic of Fiona, though, and this is getting back to the message of learning to love yourself, regardless of how you look or whatever. When Donkey finally sees Fiona as an ogre, he says, like, you're ugly. Like... Well, he goes, yeah, you're really ugly, or something like that. And I was thinking in that moment that might it not have been better for him to, like, not be freaking out over the fact that she's ugly, but the fact that she's an ogre? Because there's something to me explicit about, and now maybe it's a different message, but, like, because the message to me in the movie is that, because she's still pretty, kind of, even as an ogre, you know what I mean? Like, she's an ogre, but, like... She's
very becoming
She's ogre. Shapely and, like, has a cute face. Like she's, she's not ugly. Like, I mean... in terms of, like, compared to, like, a normal shaped human being, sure. But, like, she's not ugly. And I felt like the message of, like, even if you look different... You can still be beautiful, but in the message of the movie that's not true, because they explicitly say no, she's ugly as shit. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to I guess it just kind of was weird to me that, like, I feel like the people are, like, the message you're trying to get across to kids is that if they feel like they're ugly, you're not like, you might not look like everybody else, but that doesn't mean you're ugly.
I mean, I guess maybe the message was more of, like, not so much that you aren't ugly, but, like, that, okay, you are ugly, but that doesn't mean you're worthless.
That's fair, and I get that, and I get that is kind of what the message was. I guess my point was that I felt like they could have basically got that same message across without also explicitly saying she was ugly. I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying.
Like, if he would have freaked out about her being an ogre...
Which I think would be the more obvious...
And the more obvious thing.
Yeah.
Not that, oh my god, you're ugly. It's, oh my god, you're an ogre.
Yeah. You've literally changed species.
Yeah. Like, you're an ogre. And then it doesn't use the same language that it implies the same thing.
Yeah.
And kind of still hits the same message. But it doesn't use the same... Because... I guess my thought is that, like, the people, like, little kids, little girls, little boys watching the movie who feel like they are ugly and feel like they are the ogre version of Fiona, the movie goes, yeah, you're ugly as shit.
That's a fair
you know what I
point.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But whereas that they go, oh my god, you're an ogre? I didn't know you were an ogre. Like that, whoa, you were not, like that's a different thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like they could have done that better. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm just being a fucking snowflake. I don't know. But like, I felt like they could have done that in a way that was much, like, or not much, but like a little more, that did the same thing, but didn't just...
Right.
I don't know. Never mind. I don't know.
No, I get it. The way that you say things matters.
Yeah. I don't know. It just felt like so, like, kind of dismissive of the idea, like, yeah, you're ugly. You're fucking ugly. Like, you're so ugly. Kids who don't look like Fiona, you're ugly. Like that. It was just like, you're fucking gross. Like, you could still find love, but just know you're fucking gross. Like, that was kind of how it felt. I don't know. It was a little weird. Not weird. It still works. Still, I get the point. I get what they're going for. It all works and makes sense. It's just like, I was like, I felt like you could have done that better. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think maybe if this movie was being made now.
Yeah, maybe.
That might have been the case, but it was 2001.
Well, that's a transition to my other thing. This movie is pretty woke for 2001.
It is.
That's what I had in my notes. I mean, it's not perfect, but for the time, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened that sparked me to write that. But there was something that, in particular, that made me... some moment that made me write that. I don't remember what it was. I was like, it's not... Overall, it's pretty... what it didn't... You know what it was? Maybe it was that... There was pretty much a lack of... It's the thing I experience a lot now when I go back and I watch, especially comedies, but any movies from the 90s, from the early 2000s that I thought were really funny. I'm like, that's really offensive.
Yeah.
Like, that's awful. I'm like, oh shit, they didn't think about that. Like, I think we were watching, like, a couple weeks or a month or something, we were watching Waiting, which is a really funny movie. But there was a couple jokes in it that were, like, really, like, transphobic or, like... I don't even remember what it was, but it was something where it was, like, really, like, holy shit, that's, like, really homophobic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's, like, something, like, and now they're products of their time, so there's kind of, because, like, none of the people working in...
Right.
Fucking Ryan Reynolds is not, but, like... This movie I didn't notice any of that. Yeah. Of, like, that, like, oh, well, that's... We didn't think about that kind of shit back then.
That's a complicated issue, I think, because stuff is of its time.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And I think it's important to acknowledge when that kind of stuff is problematic.
Yeah.
But
#problematic.
For lack of a better word. But at the same time, it's kind of like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I completely agree. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? And, it is what it is. It's a product of its time. I'm not... Right. as long as you're aware of it,
I think about it. The important thing is that you're aware of it, you think about it, you learn from it.
And it informs your thoughts, how you think about the topic going forward, and informs...
it informs the way that we make comedy now.
Yes, the way we make content now, the way we make comedy now, exactly. And but I guess my point is that I didn't notice any of that in this.
Yeah,
not really. Like there was maybe one. The one line I noticed in particular, but it's played as like the stupid thing to say is where Shrek says something about where's this fire breathing something.
Oh yeah,
and Donkey says like. Basically, Shrek says something about, like, let's go find this fire-breathing monster. And Donkey goes, yeah, I don't know where the dragon is. And Shrek's like, I was talking about the woman. Wah, wah. But it's played as, like, he's, like...
kind of a jerk.
Kind of, like, in the wrong in that moment, you know what I mean? Like, so... But, like, that was the only... Like, pretty much the only moment of that where I was like, well, it's... Yeah.
Yeah.
For the rest of it, I was like...
For me, the scene where the dragon is kind of aggressively sexual...
Yes, that was the
falls
other one.
A little sour.
But... yes, I also noticed that, and I made note of that. But I think they play it pretty well. in terms of from like, yeah, it's not the best thing in the world, but like the way that the donkey plays it in reaction to that is pretty, I don't know how to say it. Like, it's a little weird how, yeah, the dragon's like super like,
yeah,
but like Donkey kind of plays it off in a joking way and de-escalates it, and it kind of like works out. Like, I don't know, like they kind of de-escalate it in a way where nobody's like, where it's not weird,
right? It doesn't get too gross or anything.
Yeah.
But then too, I think that's also a thing that's a little mixed up in like gender roles, sort of, because I think it wouldn't have been played so much for comedy had it been a male dragon and a female donkey.
No, I agree. That's the thing, is that it's weird, it's complicated, because it is their kind of, the reason it's funny, and I'm air quoting, is because it flips that normal predatory gross thing. And so it flips that. Like I said, I think they diffuse it in a funny enough, innocent enough way to where it doesn't feel weird.
I think they do, but I think the fact that it makes us a little uncomfortable is good.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it shows that we've progressed past...
Yeah.
That idea of simply flipping the script and having it being funny because we flipped the script.
Yeah. Because women don't like fucking, am I right? Like, yeah. No, I agree. Speaking of the dragon, I have a note about the dragon. I was like, man, DreamWorks has come a long way. They went from portraying dragons as dogs to portraying them as cats. Because DreamWorks did How to Train Your Dragon.
Right.
And to me, in Shrek, the dragon is very clearly, like, dog-like.
Okay, can you expand on that?
What do you mean?
As I ask my students, can you explain to me why you felt there were dog illusions?
Well, the collar, for one. But, just it's not even illusions, it's the way it... In the same way that the Toothless in How to Train Your Dragon is very cat-like, is its mannerisms. Okay. Just the way it moves, the way it holds itself, the way it reacts to things. Toothless is very cat-like, and whatever, I don't even know what if it doesn't have a name, I don't think. But the dragon in Shrek, to me, came across very obviously as a, like, dog-like.
Okay, all right, I can see
And again,
that.
it wasn't anything in particular, like, it wasn't like an explicit thing.
I don't feel like it's as obvious in Shrek as it is in How You Train Your Dragon.
No, it's not as obvious. I mean, especially because we have a black cat, so, like, in Toothless, it is very obvious. I'm like, that is just a black cat with wings. But... just the playful nature of the dragon, and like the way it reacted to them, and its mannerisms were very, to me, dog-like. Okay. And which was interesting because, like I said, it's so clearly in How to Train Your Dragon, it's just a cat. It's just a black cat with wings. And I thought it was interesting that they made that transition. And if you disagree, but like if you go watch Shrek, when you watch the dragon, tell me that doesn't read dog. If you disagree, then let us know. But I'm pretty sure that they decided this one's a dog, and then they got the How to Train Your Dragon, and they're like, black cat with wings. Can we talk about the most savage line in any movie ever made ever?
Yeah.
It's bad enough being alive when no one wants you. Lord fucking Farquaad.
Savage.
Holy shit, we both lost it. Like, that is one of the most... ridiculous, just uncalled for, fucking roast flay your skin from your bones lines. Like, oh, god damn.
I'm gonna start saying that to people I don't like.
God, in the context, it is brutal. It is fucking... I was like, god damn, Farquaad. No chill.
Okay, so there was a thing that I wanted to bring up. So I said in the mini episode, I had a fun fact about the word Shrek.
Right.
The name.
Yes.
Comes from a Yiddish German word meaning fright or fear.
Uh-huh.
And it's also a common expression.
Yeah.
Oi, Shrek.
Oi, Shrek. It's like, oh, oi,
so, knowing that and watching the movie, I noticed that whenever someone asks him what his name is, he's like, Shrek, what if? He thinks that that's his name, because that's what people say when they see him.
Oh, shit. That would explain the exclamation point. That explains the exclamation point! It's not his name, it's what people say to him.
Holy shit.
We solved it, guys. Huh! Somebody call Unsolved Mysteries. We figured this one out. Woo! Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
That's true. That's just canon now.
Yeah.
It's canon. That's what... He's just always... They just yell, "Oi, Shrek" at him, and he goes, I guess my name's Shrek.
That's my name.
I guess my name's Shrek.
Because I had never noticed that before in the movie, that whenever he says his name, he's kind of like seems uncertain.
Shrek. Mythbusters tried the earwax candle thing.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. They did an episode, or they had in one of the episodes, they did the can you make a candle out of earwax based on, and it, they had footage from the movie. It was busted.
So you can't do it?
No, and it resulted in most of the build team throwing up.
Oh, why?
They had to go, literally, they went to they had everybody, they had an ear, nose, and throat person come in, like a doctor.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's disgusting. So you're already throwing up almost already without even having been there. They had an ear, nose, and throat person come in with a thing for getting earwax out of ears, and they had all of their crew and all the people that work sit down, and they pulled earwax out.
God.
And they got a jar, they got a thing of it, and then they heated it up.
Oh God.
And apparently it smelled like death. Because
sure
while they were melting
did.
it, while they were trying to melt it, they were all just throwing up constantly.
I mean, earwax exists to catch shit before it gets into your ear canal.
And there was lots of hair and other gross things. Yep.
Stop talking.
Yep.
This is the worst thing you've ever told me.
You should watch it. It's great.
I'm not going to.
They're just gagging. It's just literally, 10 minutes of them just gagging, trying to do this.
This is terrible.
And then eventually they got it, and they kind of formed it into a candle shape-ish, just a mound basically.
Ugh.
And they had a wick in it, but it didn't burn very well. It sputtered and kept going out, so it just didn't work. It's one of the grossest things I've ever seen on Mythbusters, and that's saying a lot, because Mythbusters fucking does some gross shit. Can't make a candle out of your earwax. Unless you're an ogre, maybe. Who knows? Maybe his ear's wax is different.
Yeah, maybe he has waxier wax.
He has paraffin earwax.
You know what always bothered me about that scene? When he pulls the wax out of his ear, it's the opposite shape to what his ear is. His ear is wide on the outside, and then it tapers as it gets closer to his head. But when he pulls the wax out, it's narrow, and it gets wider.
Is it?
Yes, it does, and it's bothered me since I was 11.
Now I have to go back and watch that. We have to post screenshots of this on the Facebook page to confirm.
It's the kind of shit I noticed.
I don't know, I have a bunch more.
I want to talk about... You don't have any other...
I just have some generic notes about how funny the movie is, but...
Small thing. I mean, the movie is funny.
No, it was one of my notes, is that, barring any sequels and anywhere else the movie went, that first one was hilarious.
If you just consider it as a monolith on its own, it's funny.
It's really funny, and the comedic timing and delivery, especially of Eddie Murphy and Mike Myers together, was just... It's fucking
and all
there's a reason it was quoted 8 bajillion times by everybody.
Yeah. And all the little character world building details in the movie are great.
Yeah.
That first opening song where Shrek is just doing his thing. All of the things that you learn about him in that span of 3 minutes. It's fantastic.
Somebody once told me the world.
It's good economical storytelling.
Yeah.
And character building.
Yeah, no, it is. You're right.
So I want to talk about how obvious of a takedown of Disney.
Yeah.
This is, and how it started out with Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Yeah. Did he work for Disney?
He was the engineer of the Disney Renaissance.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He was, like, executive producer when they were putting out, like, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, The Lion King, all of the great Disney hits from our childhood.
Right.
And left Disney and started DreamWorks.
Much like Don Bluth. Right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a similar situation.
Yeah. They just like...
Don Bluth worked on Fox and the Hound.
Yeah.
I know for sure.
Yeah. I'll say, like, it's a lot of times I feel like Disney has these people... Don Bluth didn't go on to the same success that...
Right.
That
but
Katzenberg did,
Disney creates their own enemies.
Yeah, they really do. Like, it's everybody that kind of rivals Disney usually worked for Disney at some point.
But in Katzenberg, he went off and he started DreamWorks, and Shrek it's a takedown of Disney.
Yeah.
It's a really big, obvious...
Yeah.
When you know what to look for, it is a takedown of Disney. I mean, and there's so many little send-ups. At the end, when Fiona transforms, that's like shot for shot the transformation scene from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I mean, and not just Disney movies, too. I mean, it is really lampooning the way that Disney tells stories, and particularly fairy tales.
Yeah.
But it's also this scathing indictment of the Disney brand.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And the consumerism the merchandising and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But what's really funny about it is that Shrek starts off as this, like I said, it's a scathing indictment of Disney. And then 3 sequels, a spin-off, 2 holiday specials, 5 video games, a Broadway musical, and countless ridiculous products later, it became the very thing that it initially parodied. Truly, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
No, it's really... capitalism. Yeah. Like, hey, you got real cool ideas and principles about fucking taking down Disney and corporate fucking blah blah. Hey, here's all this money. Where are your principles now, fuckface? Like, that's kind of how capitalism works.
A funny thing too, a couple years ago when Frozen was really big, and it was everywhere, and it was plastered all over every single product you could think of, and that people were complaining about it. And I'm like, do you even remember Shrek? Do you remember?
No, I remember.
All of the products, it was on everything. Yeah. Everything was really Shrek themed.
Yeah.
There was Shrek ketchup.
Yes, it was green. I ate it.
It tasted
like regular ketchup. Because guess what? Food dye doesn't
made
affect...
the hot dogs look a little moldy.
Yeah,
but it tasted like ketchup. It tasted like
ketchup because you can dye food any color, still tastes the same. It was nuts. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
In every fast food restaurant, it was all all the fucking Happy Meals and kids meals and everything was Shrek everything. Yeah, no, it was huge. It was huge. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was so huge that it spawned, like you said, fucking 4 sequels, 3 musical, a million video games.
Just everything.
Yeah. That is interesting because, it was completely like, you suck. Oh, I'm you. Shit. Oh, no. I mean, it's not... DreamWorks didn't become Disney,
right? But the sequels got steadily worse.
Yeah, they slowly went downhill. The second one was pretty good. The third one wasn't very good.
Well, and the things that made the original Shrek fresh and edgy and new, weren't new anymore. Yeah, when they started doing it over and over.
No, and you know what? It kind of suffers from it, and this is slightly weird, but it's kind of the same thing with remember the first Scary movie? Like, that was really funny and interesting, and then they made 8 of them, and they were terrible. Yeah. Because it's funny, and I mean, not that it was new or unique, because Scary movie was basically, Airplane and Blazing Saddles and a million other parody satire films, comedies for the last 30 years, but Spaceballs. But the first one was really good and pretty funny, and then you kind of don't have that bite anymore after that first one.
Well, I mean, it kind of reminds me of if you've ever been around a little kid and they say something funny and everybody laughs.
Yeah.
So they keep repeating the same joke.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like that.
You're like, you're not funny.
They repeat it until you want to murder that small child.
You're like, it was funny the first time because it was novel. Why don't you understand comedy, 6-year-old? It's not funny anymore. That's the downfall of everything, honestly. Or not everything, but it's the downfall of most things.
But you keep trying to do the same thing over and over again and replicate that success, but it doesn't work anymore because things change.
The novelty was was why it was successful. Yeah. And you can't recreate novelty. Kind of on principle, that doesn't make sense. So
my last
before
note,
we get to the final verdict,
my last note in here is Jeffrey Katzenberg's teeth are terrifying. So
all right,
nothing
go
about
Google
Shrek.
that one. Go check
They're
that
really
out.
scary. They're all the same size.
I'll take your word for it. I don't think that's anatomically possible, but I'll take your word for it.
I promise you they're really scary.
I'm sure they're scary. I just don't think they can all be the same size, because that's not how teeth work.
We're going to look it up later.
All right. It's time for the final verdict. Which one is better? Is the book really better than the movie?
I'm going to give it to the movie.
Oh, yes.
The book it's good, and it's really cute. And like I said, if you've got a kid, definitely go out and get him a copy of this book.
Yeah.
Read it to him before bed. It's cute and it's funny.
Yeah.
But the movie tells an actual story.
Yeah. And this isn't really a fair fight necessarily because it's a picture book with 20
right.
pages.
It really is. The movie took the basic concept and ran with it. I think the movie is largely more enjoyable and it has better sticking power.
Yeah.
It's
got Smash Mouth in it. So.
You're gonna remember the movie for longer than you remember the book.
That's true. Even if you forget that you remember the movie, because like I did, I forgot that I remembered the whole movie.
But you'll remember it immediately
as soon as it starts
upon
playing.
Hearing somebody once told me
the world is... Oh, that's all we got, guys and gals. Until next time, and any of you non-binary out there, keep reading books, keep watching movie. Keep watching movie.
Only one movie.
Only one movie. Keep reading books, keep watching movies. Until next time. Just Shrek.
Just keep watching Shrek.
Our next book, Katie, what are we doing?
We are doing a Christmas adjacent book/movie.
Big one.
We are doing The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Boom. Chronicles of Narnia, son.
Chronicles of Narnia, childhood classic.
It's the Chronicles of Narnia. Have you seen this?
No.
Have you not seen this? Holy shit, we're going to watch a thing right after this.
Well, you've never read the book, so...
No, I've seen the movie, but the fact that you've never seen that lazy son... Okay, well, just it's a thing. We'll watch it. Yes, Chronicles of Narnia. I'm excited. This is a big one. Well, not for me, because I don't give a shit, because C.S. Lewis sucks, but...
He does not.
C.S. Lewis is fine.
Have you ever read anything by C.S. Lewis?
No.
Then you don't get to pass judgment.
He's a wannabe J.R.R. Tolkien. Let's just say
we can get into that in the episode.
Wannabe J.R.R. Tolkien. Anyways, yes, Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. It's a Christmas adjacent, perfect for the season.
It's got Santa Claus in it.
It's legit got Santa Claus in it.
It's got snow.
Fucking sure. It's got Jesus in it.
Lion Jesus.
Lion Jesus. Yes. Chronicles of Narnia, next episode. Well, next episode is a mini episode, but after that, Chronicles of Narnia, son. Get hyped for Lion Jesus.
You can also follow us on Goodreads, where we are keeping a running tally of whether the book was better or the movie was better.
Thank you for once again listening to This Film is Lit.